Hello, I'm going to show you how to do the plum blossom. The plum blossom is basically consists of a circular stroke. The flowers is a 5-petal flower like these here. So 5 petals, very simple flower, and then with the first use the red to put in the petals, and then you join the center after it's kind of dry with the black. Just a circle with a bunch of dashes, and then as the plum flower is like a cherry, is on a tree, so that so it needs to be connected to a branch. So kind of like this. So a little twig, a branch, something like that. And a branch tends to have resin on it, so you have these dots on the branch. So that's the key elements here. So the stroke is a circular stroke. I think I can just kind of show you on this dish here. It's basically you hold the brush vertically, and then you start off with one direction and go around in the circle while pressing down. So you start off in this direction, press down, and then come back up towards the center of the flower. So you do 5 petals. It's going to be like this. You kind of see the way the brush, the bristles follows kind of a path like this. So basically it's down, around, press, and then come back up. So they get 5 petals like this. So of course on the rice paper you need to control the water, and that's key here. So let me just show you. First of all, let's say you start off with a clean brush like that. Scrape off excess water. And then you go here with a piece of paper towel, dry it off. Now you're ready to go. You can test it on paper. It's not too wet. You dip the brush tip into the water for a fraction of a second, and now you're ready to go to the color. So the brush is basically clean all the way except for the tip. So we just take the tip here, and basically you can use a piece of rice paper on the side to control the water. But what we can do here is just go it around and around like this. Give you this. And I feel this kind of dry, so I dip in the water for a little bit. And that second one looks a little better. It seems a little dry, so dip in the water a bit, and then take the color at the tip. Make sure the color is well dispersed. And then the third is kind of be like that. And the fourth, like that. 5, like that. So now you have a color of a plum flower like that. So let's do it at a different direction, in a different angle. So let's say you have that. 3 petals, and then if you the last, let's say it's on the side, so it's like an ellipse. So you have two dots to take care of the petals near you. All right. So that's then what you do is, and then you have the black, and use another brush with a pointy, good sharp points, and then you can then draw. Oops. Yeah, just right over here. Okay, so there's a little couple of dots, and then you have these little dashes. Little dashes. Best to kind of wait for the flower to dry. We can't really wait that long here in the video, so I'm trying to make sure this brush is very dry. This is by squeezing out the water from the base. Then you can still do the dashes and the dots without it while it's still wet. And then the next thing is to connect to a flower to the branch, right? So I know instinctively that it has to be a little, as you see, it's too dry, right? So it's a little wetter. See, needed to be a little wet to connect it to the branch like that. And you also have to kind of usually draw a little base here for the flower. So this is the bottom of the flower, and then a few dots, so you get that effect. Alright, so let's say the branch go off like that. I'll leave a little gap here. Now you're ready to put in a flower bud, which hasn't opened, so it's another, basically just a pointy, just a round stroke, and then you can just connect it to there, like that. Okay, so that's a nice little branch with flowers on it. So so let's say you use another brush. Now be aware that basically the way to do the flower is something like this. So you have the picture usually is composed of a bunch of branches. You leave little gaps in between the branches, and then after you draw in the branches, then you fill in the flowers into the gaps and everywhere else. So it's kind of like this. So we'll do to take ink, and then with a few strokes like that, leave some kind of gap here, and then here is leave some gaps, and then this branch actually coming out from me, perhaps over here someplace. Then put little dots on it. Let's say use another brush that now I have the really dark ink. Put little dots on it, something like this. So you kind of have that. And now we're ready to fill in the flowers. So I'm going to do it pretty quickly. You don't want to. So basically a lot of the dots, right? So here's 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 and 5. Okay, that's 1 flower. And then here's another flower here, fill in this gap, a flowering bud. And then maybe a flowering bud here, another flowering bud here. Yeah, I have put it on the wrong thing. Here's better. Put it on the ink instead. That was a mistake. Now here it is. So flowers again. All right. And then here's another flower. 5 petals. And 5 petals here. 5 petals here. Alright, so here's so let's say another flower in the back of the branch, behind the branch. Behind the branch. Little twig here. And then more flowers here. In this kind of a free and loose manner, you can put these dots in, because there are a lot of flowers, so basically you couldn't tell which is which. It's just a matter of a lot of dots of different intensity. Right, so we got quite a bit here. Alright, so now we can then put in the so now I have this very dry brush, and then I can put in the little dashes. Dashes here. Dashes. Little circle dashes with the dots. So this is the other side, so you're only seeing the bottom of the flower, which is pointing the other way. Then more flowers. And then here, because so I think at this point then we are going to add some more flowers here. to fill this up. You can even add something here. So, alright, so and then you're gonna wait for it a little bit to dry. In the meantime, I'm gonna work on parts that I know is dry already. So this is dry. We just have to put in a little base for the little dots for the base of the flower. And you add additional branches here. Fill it in with some brush strokes and dots and stuff. So this is, the idea here is that this is, there's a lot of flowers here, you can't really see which is which anyway. So we just need to fill in like that. And then this maybe contain a couple of dots connected to there. Yeah, like that. Actually, just a few more dots. Basically does the job. Okay, so that's the extent of the picture. Or what we can also try to do perhaps is use some lighter red, so there's a more dilute red, and then just create the illusion of a lot more flowers, a lot of different places, like there. And then with the black, we have some suggestion, maybe some lighter black, suggestion that it is somehow connected. More here, I think. Okay, yeah, so there's a minor adjustment, maybe a little longer branch here, a little smaller twig. A few more dots. And maybe a flowering bud here. Oh, okay, that's it. Maybe I should turn it around so you can see it a little better. Let's do the overall effect. Okay.